Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending upon the time of day for you. Thank you for taking the time to spend a few minutes with me. I do hope you find the experience entertaining as well as educational. Before I begin, let me tell you a little about myself. Now, when I give speeches, this part is usually done by another person who introduces me. So you'll pardon me if this sounds a bit pretentious, but my advisors have told me this is what I should say. My name is John Fall. I'm a senior global executive management leadership consultant, seminar workshop facilitator, speaker, and author. I have over 4 decades of experience with organizations ranging in size from a few hundred employees to hundreds of thousands worldwide. My clients include Honda, Toyota, General Motors, the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, Royal Dutch Shell, Australian Teleservices Association, IBM, Lockheed Martin, ESI International, Computer Task Group, San Miguel, and numerous small and mid-sized enterprises. My industry experience includes automotive, financial services, oil and gas, healthcare, employee benefits, mortgage banking, manufacturing, distribution, construction, real estate, insurance, and many others. My consulting engagements, predominantly initiated by client referrals, have taken me throughout North America and Asia Pacific, including Australia, Japan, the Philippines, and Singapore, and have involved vendor negotiations and management of client employees, consultants, and offshore resources. I'm a certified project management professional, better known as PMP, former director of the Orange County, California, U.S. chapter of the Independent Computer Consultants Association, and author of Using Information as a Resource, published in Mortgage Banking magazine, as well as Living with a Fast Idiot, the Executive's Guide to Computers, that was used by Arthur Andersen and Company's introductory course on computers. I created and conducted a seminar workshop, How to Select and Install Information Technology, a Management Perspective, for the International Foundation of Employee Benefit Plans Automation Institute in Palm Springs, California in the U.S., and a workshop entitled How to Implement an E-Strategy for the Australian Teleservices Association in Sydney, Australia. It delivered real-life strategies and the pitfalls of e-strategy implementation for this organization whose members are contact center managers and team members. The workshop included web integration techniques and department organization strategies. I also developed and addressed a speech to high school students, What's Your Dream?, at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde Choose IT, Discover and Learn Your Future conference in Manila in the Philippines. I'm listed in Who's Who in the World, Who's Who in America, Who's Who in Finance and Industry, Who's Who in Finance and Business, Who's Who in Emerging Leaders in America, and Who's Who in the West. This speech is part of my Fall's Inspirational Kickoff Speeches, a collection of 6 short inspirational speeches designed to kick off an annual planning meeting, team building event, corporate reorganization introduction, or any meeting that could use a refreshing start. This speech is called You Don't Have to Be Famous. The other speeches in the collection are The Mirror Test, Do You Know Who You Are, It's Not About You, It's Never Too Late, and Perry Sabato's Maximizing Academic Performance, MAP, seminars. I also offer the Leadership Insights series, a collection of 6 workshops, keynote addresses on leadership, based upon my decades of experience as a senior global executive management leadership consultant, seminar workshop facilitator, speaker, and author. The workshop's keynote addresses are titled, "What Can I Do?" Leadership Myths and Musts, Leadership Lessons from Entrepreneurs, Leadership Lessons from Everyday Life, The Pace of Leadership, and more leadership lessons. And now, here's You Don't Have to Be Famous. I can't tell you the number of people I've met in my consulting who have no animation when they talk about their work, but who light up when I ask them what they're really passionate about. Does this ring a bell with you? Do you know someone like this? Perhaps yourself? Every year, cable network news, CNN, asks people to submit candidates for ordinary people that have made a difference in the world because they took something they were passionate about and turned it into action. CNN calls them heroes, and I think you will too after I share with you the story of a person who was among the top 10 heroes in 2016. You'll hear the story of Georgie Smith, a designer who started her nonprofit, A Sense of Home, after realizing kids who aged out of the foster care system often end up living in squalor. She decided to help by lending her interior design skills for free. And on a more personal note, you'll hear a story of how my wife and I decided to learn how to play golf, and the surprising lessons about life we learned from the experience. Here's some ideas for you that might help you as you begin to think about your passions and what you're going to do about them. First, immediately stop thinking about how you aren't famous enough, and instead start thinking about how you're going to make a difference in the world. Second, develop and write down a list of everything you're passionate about and what you're going to do about it. And finally, remember, you don't have to start with a big idea. You can start small and learn as you go along until you're doing something big enough to make a difference. And now, for the story about the 2016 hero, Georgie Smith, and what she's done for foster children. Georgie Smith was working as a designer and chef in Los Angeles when a young man named Barry sought her out. He was 23 years old, living on his own after growing up in the foster care system. I went to see him living in his apartment amongst black garbage bags, Smith said. It was unacceptable. I immediately thought of my nephew, who was around the same age, and I did what I would do for him. Los Angeles